though our story might have started around an year back, but then the founding team. So I'm not the only person. We have Mr. Tarachand Belji, who has been a chief ideologue of this whole concept, and we have Mr. Ridesh Agrawal, who is the business brain. Right? I come in as a technology evangelist, and then we partner with companies like you to build the technology platform, which we need to reach out, do whatever objective which we have in mind. The work of our team started almost a decade back. The master trainer or the one who is the chief ideologue of the company has been educating the farmers for almost a decade now. And he has trained more than 2 lakh farmers across the country. And almost he has devised a very unique, set of processes, education, and products to help all the chemical farmers convert to organic farming. So organic farming, as I was explaining that after COVID, there has been an increased appreciation of the food which we eat and what is the source of that food. And we all know that the traditional food which we get, there has been question marks on the sources or the input material, in terms of the DAP and urea, which have been found to be lots of, question mark on some aspects of it is something which we have been told are to the extent not good for our health. And organic food hasn't taken off because of the fact that the pricing is very prohibitive for a lot of people. Organic food sells at 2 to 3 times of a non-organic food, and that's why the adoption or the mass adoption has been an issue. So we are addressing this issue on both the ends. First of all, because the farmer is the one who has to get into this game and get the skin. So we have devised a full platform. And when I say full platform, it includes the education and training piece. It includes the package and practices, the whole process of it. And then, of course, the product piece, right? Where Dukaan platform comes into the picture, where they can buy and, all the products which they need for end-to-end conversion of their farming to an organic based. So this is where we have started, and it's a time consuming process. It takes time. Fortunately, with the ground which we have built in last few years has been able that we launched our platform almost a year back from now, and our revenues or our monthly revenue for December 21 is now our everyday revenue. So in 12 months we have grown, almost like say 50 times from where we were. Of course, Dukaan has a key role to play there. So, in terms of our origin and in terms of the background, this is what we do. We have an education platform, we have a package of practice platform, and we have an e-commerce platform. Now, what we are building is a blockchain-backed platform where, let's say someone like Ashwath want to source his say all his food from a particular farm. Now why does he trust that particular farm is that he we are going to provide him information about the farmer, about the farming practices, and about the farming inputs, because all these three things are tied to our platform as of now, and that will give an end customer a trust based platform, immutable platform, because it's a blockchain based, and that will give him the confidence that whatever food is being sourced from that platform is really authentically organic. And that platform is due for launch in next few months, and that will be the revolutionary thing which will integrate the whole supply chain. So we do not even call that farm to customer, we call that soil to customer, right? Because our work starts from the soil. So you get your food, yeah, so we know what the farmer is going to put in his soil because we are the one who are supplying it, right? We know the practice which a farmer is adopting because we are the one who are dictating it, and then we are the one who are selling that the whole produce to the end customer at a reasonable price. So that's how we are going to integrate the whole food chain, right from the farmer till the end customer. So yeah, so this is what in essence is what we are trying to do. Well, I think we still, have not really scratched the surface of what we can potentially do. We are only at, let's say, if I were to classify, say less than 1% of the work is done. But then you can be assured that at this point of time, say 10,000 farmers, and even if you take a 5 to 10 acre farm of each one of them, say 1 lakh acre across the country have adopted our practices, and another 5 lakhs acre are in the process of adopting it. So that means that, significant now with this kind of a acreage, we can actually will have the volumes to cater to customers across India. And of course, we'll not stop just there. Our purpose is to bring down the cost for the customer and increase the income of the farmer, because this can be increased only when you let go or when you innovate the supply chain in terms of taking out the intermediaries which are not adding any additional value to the whole value chain. And we believe so on one hand it will increase the income of the farmer, and on the other hand it will reduce the pricing of the end customer. It will lead to a mass adoption of organic on one hand, and it will lead to mass cultivation of organic at the farmer end. So both these can be achieved only through the platform, because we are working with the farmer to start with. That's why it's easier for us to influence them. So yeah, I mean that's a long answer to a short question, right? But I believe that that will, yeah. So I think this background is necessary for you to give a fair idea about the transformation which we are attempting. I mean it's a big job, it's a great job. We are only at the beginning of it, but with the results which we have, with the growth which we have, and with the kind of traction at the farmer level, look. So the customer part is easily solved. So customer need good food. It is just that is it affordable is one question. Is it accessible is another question. And is it trustworthy, right? I mean, even if I pay, say, two times of the price, do I trust that this is really organic or not? Because there is no test for organic, right? You go by the trust in the brand. And we could be the most authentic in that sense, because we are the one who are supplying the organic input to that farmer, right? So I know that if he has farm, this farmer has bought this input from me, most likely he is going to utilize it in the farm. And then we will do some sample testing to ensure another level of QA, to ensure that whatever he's being sold, he's actually utilizing it. In essence, the rest of the things are there. We have a full portfolio of the all the products which are essentially the substitute of the chemical based product, and this is all based on, lot of it is borrowed from the ancient practices of India only, right? So you'll be surprised. This is not something which we have, innovated or invented on our own. It's all there. I mean, I'm not sure that how much you know about our ancient literature on. So there is a field of medicine which is called the Vriksh Ayurved, right? The way the Ayurved is there for you and me, there is a Ayurved concept for the plant as well. What is the food which they should eat? How, what are the circumstances, how to prepare the soil, the way you grow any living organism is the way you grow a plant, right? You need to ensure that they are taken care when they are young. You need to ensure that they are nutritionally adequate when they are, in their adolescence, and when they are young. And if you take care of the plants at those stages, of course the output is going to be great. And our farmers are getting, you'll be surprised, I'll be very modest to state that, but we are not talking about 10-20% enhancement in their output and income. We are talking about 2 to 3 to 5 times of the output which they are getting by the the usual stuff. And then we have the success stories which keeps coming in every alternate day. I mean, I'm sure you name a state, we are operational. We are very strong in Gujarat, Maharashtra, Haryana, Punjab, Himachal, UP, Madhya Pradesh, and Chhattisgarh. And then now we are expanding our footprint to the south states as well. And then, the northeast as well. Just today, we got a very lab researched variety of some seeds, which produce 100 to 200x of the output, right? So if I sow a 1 kg seed of that mutter variety, I'm going to get 100 to 200 kgs as an output. So whatever we do is 100% organic. We manufacture, or we, get all from, and we use the for the one which is being manufactured in the desi variety of the cow. So we don't really go for the mix or the hybrid varieties, and the phenomenal results are there of the fertilizer which we manufacture in this way. So yeah, I mean lots of say it's interesting stuff. We may not have sufficient time to explain all of it, but you can consider that we are going to see a very, very different world for the farmers and consumers who are going to attach to us. Okay, so I did my BE in computer sciences from Delhi. So Delhi Institute of Technology, where I did my com sciences and engineering. I worked with Infosys for almost 8 years. Then I worked with a bunch of startups, right? So I was in fintech for a couple of years. Then I was part of the growth team for Taxi for Sure, which eventually got acquired by Ola. Then I was heading north for Ola in terms of the business operations and growth. And yeah, so then last 2 3 years I've been into the startups which I found and grow. So yeah, so that has been the journey. And yeah, in between I did my postgraduate program in management from IIM Calcutta. So this is what has been the background since 2021. It has been Soul all the way. I think a very honest and transformational company, which will really provide value to what we call as the last person at the bottom of the pyramid, right? I mean, we want the farmers, so eventually the customer will be well served when we serve the farmer well, right? So I believe that the transformation of our country is going to happen if we can transform the villages, and we'll transform the villages by ensuring that they earn enough in their villages not to move to cities to work in factories. And if you can change the village, the country will change on its own, right? The rest of the things are in place, but then I believe that a village will form really the transformation, or a 10 trillion country, or a 25 trillion country. But what we talk about will happen only if our farmers and the villages are prosperous, right? And that's what has been the driving factor. And you'll be surprised that we took the form of an organization only a year back, but 50 people had been working in the volunteer mode long, long earlier, right? So I mean, it is not just it this idea got say germinated just a year back. It just got organized better, but then people have been working without any financial incentive in this organization for many, many years, right? Because the lure of this transformation and this story which you are building goes much deeper than any financial incentive which you can offer, right? And then, just to give you an example, we recently hired a full-time CTO. He has been a CTO of US based company, and he has spent say 2 decades in US working as a senior CXO position. Has recently joined. So again, I said that all these people have, so we are not hunting, we are not hiring. People have been joining this movement on their own, and he's now a hands-on farmer as well. So yeah, I mean, it's a good cause, and we believe that we'll want to be remembered as a honest company transforming the farmer. Dukaan just made a journey very, very easy. I wanted to create one, but then while researching for what are the options which will allow us to hit the market fast, I realized along with Dukaan, just to give you an idea, we evaluated other platforms of your type, but then somehow I just got struck by the simplicity of your platform, right? So the best things, and this is has been my funda, that apart from the objective factors which we considered in the gut feel, right? I mean, at this stage, you go by the gut feel that what looks the easiest is possibly the best, right? I mean, we don't want fancy dashboards, we don't want that. Or say, of course, all those things are there. But then at the same time, the ease with which we can operate your platform was the one which struck us, and it just took us a few days to identify that this is what we are proceeding with. I did not talk to anybody. We did not, had long discussions. We just went with the gut feel, and here we are. Just before your call, I had a call with your engineering team, and we upgraded our platform to an enterprise, and we had a call with your CEO as well. And he told that he wanted to just see that what is this company which has moved from the lowest say subscription to an enterprise subscription in less than a month. So we were not aware that it was a big deal, but it seems that we have been noticed within your organization as well. And I had a long call with your engineering team and the enterprises guy, and we are working on new and more advanced features which we'll need. And just to give an idea that we are not taking care of just the farmer at the village, we are launching very soon an urban farmer initiative, which will mean that if you want to grow your food within your apartment or home, and if you have got just 100 square feet of area, there are a set of vegetables which you can grow within your farm, right? So everyone is a farmer at heart. So we'll launch that, and I think so. That's what we talked about with them. No, sure. I mean, I can send 25 experts, including the experts who was consulting our president, Mr. APJ Abdul Kalam at Mughal Gardens, right? So he is also part of the core team. Say the issue is not how to help you, is that which one I need to assign to help you. And then, I'm sure it's just if we can manage lakhs of acre, we can manage a couple of 100 square feet as well. So yeah, be our guest. We'll be there. I think one thing which I learned very early was while I was you learn the most, or at least your grounding happens when you work in an organization like Infosys, right? One thing that be honest with yourself and be honest with the customers, right? So these are the two elements which you need to get your basics right. So if I were to start a brand tomorrow, I believe that you just put yourself in the shoes of the customer, believe what exactly is the value which you want to deliver to him, right? Identify that value, identify that what will, and then the rest of the things will follow, right? So never lose sight of the customer, never be dishonest with them, always believe whether they tell to you explicitly or say implicitly, but be very respectful of even a minor request or expectation from your customer. You can always build a team, raise the funds, do whatever it's required, but that proposition, the problem which you want to solve, and the customer for you are solving, just don't lose your focus on that. The rest of the things will fall in place with passage of time.